Welcome to Season 3 of the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Casual Camping Podcast. I am Tim.
And I'm Ade. People have said they can't tell our voices apart, but you sound completely different to me, Tim. I can hear it.
You sound like a big girl's blouse.
Extra large girl's blouse, if you don't mind.
That'd be a nightie.
Have you seen my Snow Peak top? Put a belt on that, you've got a 3-in-1 kind of outfit, and I have slept in it.
I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to that. I'm a little bit disturbed.
You said how nice it looked.
I was hungover. So what are we talking about this week, Ed?
We are talking about the difference between solo and group camping.
Solo was a rubbish film. It's like the worst Star Wars film. Oh, wrong Solo.
Wrong Solo.
Wrong Solo.
Can't do that, Tim. Copyright.
Oh yeah, no, can't do that. I think mine was like an ill Ewok rather than Chewie. I was that Ewok that got stood on by the Scout Walker.
There's a title of a book.
That's my autobiography.
Yeah.
Gosh, have we digressed?
Yeah. Or they could do a cooking one. Ewok you want.
Spare Ewok ribs.
Oh, sorry, we've digressed. We were supposed to be going straight into things and chuckles. We've not talked all weekend, so
no, it's been Easter. It's been Easter, hasn't it? And now it's I've got to say, I know we're jumping straight in, but I've got to say, Happy St George's Day, everyone. We're recording this on St George's Day, patron saint of England. So happy St George's Day, everyone.
Happy St George's Day. Doesn't really get celebrated too much, you know. No. Why can't we all go and have fish and chips and 12 pints of lager? Oh,
and a day off work.
I think that's why it doesn't get celebrated.
Yeah, that's probably why.
You never get the lager drinkers stood around going, "Oh, taste that! Oh, it's lovely!" Like they do it. It's like you're in the Emerald Isles with the Guinness. I wasn't doing an accent. I was trying not to do an accent.
You almost succeeded. Almost succeeded.
Yeah.
So this
continent.
Week. So this week we're talking about the difference between camping in a group or camping solo. Camping on your own, and is there a difference? Isn't there a difference? What are the pros and cons? You know, let's spitball, Ed, and see what happens.
Well, I think off the back of last week's episode where you lucky listeners were camping with me and Tim. We were in a group, and I think the first thing to say about group stuff is group cooking is pretty good. Somebody might cook your dinner like you did, which was cracking. I know we've cooked many people dinner on our sort of camping recently over the last year since we went out with Rob and he did that leg of lamb.
Yeah.
So you know, I think that's a really good kind of, I mean, the company, you're out there.
I got to say, the flip side to that is though, and because I've got much better with my cooking. I'm more of a sharer now, and I didn't
Mm.
used to be a sharer. I took my food, even if I was in a group, I took the food I was going to eat, and everyone else could get lost.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a sharer now. But it is great if someone's in the group is doing all the cooking, but sometimes in some groups, and obviously we're not going to mention any names, but everyone's got these people in their groups who don't ever bring any food, and don't. I've got a mate who doesn't even bring a plate. And he came one time, didn't even bring a chair, and
I mean, a plate's forgivable, but was he wanting your chair?
Yeah, it was forever chair hopping because it was
Uh,
just like he didn't bring a chair, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I am the kind of guy. I've got all we've got all the kit, and I do bring an extra plate. I don't bring an extra chair. It's but it's like swings and
yeah.
roundabouts, isn't it? Yeah, you're a really social cooking kind of person, and you actually love being that sort of center stage in a group of people. Everyone's got the setups out, and you're starting to cook stuff, and you've got one thing or another. You've got a new toy that you're playing with, and you're doing all of that. It's
Yeah.
which is great, but I'm sure
Yeah.
there
I
are
mean,
people
you,
out there who are going, yeah, but I've got this guy. Let's call him Seamus because I don't know anyone called Seamus. So we'll just say Seamus. Oh, Seamus has come.
there'll be
Seamus.
people going, are they talking about me?
We must have a Seamus listening to us.
Um, but you're right, isn't it more about people that you go camping with? They're at same levels. You want somebody to be
Yeah.
able to um, come, pitch their own stuff, eat your food, but also then go, well, I will reciprocate. It's like somebody being shy at the bar, isn't it? You soon
Yeah.
get to know, oh, well, you can't always be shy at the bar, and you can't always sort of act like you need somebody to cook for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to step up and go, even if it is really basic stuff, you don't mind somebody going, I'll do tonight's tea. It's burgers. That's all I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
Great. Somebody's
Or
cooking for
or
you.
if they don't want to cook, they're like the snack guy. And he's going, yeah, I haven't got anything to cook or anything like that, but I brought crisps, nuts. I brought all the snacks of all the stuff, and I brought the charcuterie
Mm.
board.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about cooking, does it? It can
No,
just
no.
be you've made an effort and you're going to take a part in it. So that's a little bit of the group stuff. What about solo? What's the dangers to flying solo? I think Hugh touched on a couple of things.
Well, it depends where you're flying solo, really, doesn't it? I mean, if you're Hugh camping solo in Greenland, occasionally you need to carry a gun because there are polar bears and dangerous animals, and a lot of our listeners are in North America. They're in, Australia, scary parts of the world where there are things that
Ah.
will come and kill you. We're quite lucky here in the UK. I was hiking yesterday and saw a slow worm. It made the girls jump and scream, but steady on, steady on. I didn't mean it like that. It was a slow worm.
Is that the usual reaction you get?
I knew. Oh god! As soon as I was saying it, I thought, "Oh, he's so going to have me on this one."
Oh my god!
My slow worm brings all the girls to the bar. Not.
Oh my god!
Oh gosh.
Brilliant!
Oh man.
Brilliant!
Oh, I am literally blushing.
I'm blushing for you. I hope she ain't listening, because
She ain't listening. Oh god.
But yeah, and rather than the more extreme things, which so good to hear that, go back and listen if you've not listened to that one. It was really, really interesting. But I think as well, where, actually there's more of a danger, those mishaps of what do you forget? If
Yeah.
you don't have something, you can have all of it, and then actually I've left my stove at home, or I can't light my stove because I've not got anything to do that with, or like I did a few weeks back, didn't bring my airbed pump.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing when you're solo camping, you got to be super on the ball with what kit you're taking, but you've got to be self-reliant then, that if you have forgotten something or something's gone wrong, you've got to trust your knowledge and skills to be able to fix that. The flip side of that is if you're in a group and you've forgotten something, hopefully somebody else in the group is going to have it for you and be able to lend you something. It's and the price won't be too great. It won't be like, well, that's 3 beers for that fork.
Yeah. I mean, I do love, and I'm more of a group camper than a solo. I am going to do more solo camping this year because I think I've got a bit more time to do it. And I think, actually, off the other week's camping, there's a lot of things. I take a lot of stuff, and yet I come away going, I didn't really use much of it. I didn't do this because I'm either socializing a little bit too much. And chatting to people and drinking and playing with the fire and stuff like that. But actually, your coffee making video that you put up on YouTube, Tim, brilliant. I've got some wonderful, different, real coffee kind of stuff.
You really do.
And yet, half the time it's a sachet in a cup and I've made a coffee. Boom.
Yeah.
And yet I think actually when I'm there in a group, I don't get to play with the stuff in the same way because actually we're all there in a group and sometimes, we can't all be, loners like you. Sorry, I realised I needed to pull that back around to being insulting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you're not insulting me, I'm worried about you. But your point is really valid. Camping with a group, with the right group it's a social event, isn't it? And there's other stuff going on, whether that be conversation, whether that be cooking, whether that be fire making, helping somebody put up their stuff, having a look at what everyone else has brought. That's a big part of being in a group. Yeah. But when you're on your own, you do have to think about the self-entertainment. And again, don't make me blush. You got
take yourself in hand, Tim. Take yourself in hand. I don't know what you mean. Entertainment. Oh
gosh, I can't remember what that was. Was it white sheep, white cow?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now.
White chicken, white cow.
White chicken, white cow. It's but you do have to think of, particularly. So I went camping. Obviously not last winter because everything else that was going on. But the winter before, I went solo camping for a number of days up in the Yorkshire Dales, up in the Peak District, and it was there was lots of snow. It was -5. There's actually reasonable periods where you are in your tent and it's just you on your own. You're in the tent. I mean, it's great because I've got the wood burning stove in the tent. So, in wood prep, you're getting fires going and it's my favourite toy. It's just brilliant. Yeah. And you're making a coffee inside the tent on the wood burning stove, living the dream. But you do have to think about, well, you're kind of on your own for a lot of the time. And that is the opportunity then to play with like those coffee machines that you've got that are really quite cool that you forget to use when you're in a big group. Yeah. You take those toys and have a play with those and kind of go, actually, you know what? I'm really going to treat myself. I'm on my own camping, but I'm going to make the nicest coffee. I'm going to make a really nice dinner and I'm going to use this and I'm going to use that. And I'm going to, get all the stuff out to play with because it's just me and there's nobody distracting me. There's nobody like pulling me away to do something else.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? When we went to the Woodlands a few weeks ago, you, me and Tom, and I had a new stove that I'd spent ages not having a first burn, not doing this, not doing that and stuff. And actually, we went to bed late. We stayed up talking and drinking and burning
Yeah.
stuff. I got to bed and put the stove on, but I was about out for the count within 5 or 10 minutes kind of
Yeah.
thing. I didn't really enjoy it that way. And then getting up the following morning, breakfast was on and stuff.
Mm.
So that's the other thing about group camping, which you sometimes just don't have that time to be able to spend with the kit that you want.
Yeah.
So I think there's pluses and minuses for both things, isn't there?
Absolutely.
But it's being able to sort of borrow what you need, or does somebody have this, or anybody got any more gas, or whatever is
Mm.
great. You can't go and ask for gas from another camper somewhere else. It's the one thing that I don't think many people will lend you, will they?
No, no. You can ask to borrow, like a pump or something like that. You can ask to borrow things like that, but yeah, if you can't go and borrow gas. And
Yeah.
the other thing is if you are camping on your own and you're like through hiking, so you're doing a bit of wild camping or something like that, there isn't anybody else there to ask for
Yeah,
anything
no,
else.
that's it. If you're on doing a solo kind of thing, you might not be on sites or whatever.
You've
So
got you've got to carry everything. Whereas you can wild camp as a group, and the benefit to that is where you spread the weight of things out. So collectively as a group, you've got enough tents, you've got enough cooking stuff, you've got enough food, you've got enough water. But
mm,
actually, you spread that out across, two, three, four of you, so that everybody's pack's reasonably equal, and people are able to manage it, and not one person's carrying like all the really heavy stuff. It's So yeah, so it depends where you're going as well, and what you're doing. We talk a lot about car camping, but in groups, because that's kind of our thing. We've got mates up and down the country, and we tend to pick somewhere where everybody drives to, and then we kind of meet up for a weekend. But you can be a group that's like climbing across a couple of mountains and going for a few days, and you've got the benefit then of being in a group where you can spread the equipment out so that
yeah,
everyone's got an easier ride. If you're on your own doing that, that's a really heavy pack. It's a really,
yeah,
really heavy pack. I've done that before, and it don't get any lighter throughout the day. Let me tell you,
yeah.
it just gets heavier.
Yeah, but I think as well though the benefits to solo camping is that you're on your own time. You're not on somebody else's. You don't have somebody saying, "Are we eating now?" Or
Mm,
you might eat earlier than you actually want to do, and just within a group you do that. Oh yeah, we'll just do it. You'll get something on now, and you try and sort of pitch it. Sort of the group decides, whereas you're on your own time, you can decide. And I
yeah,
think that's the thing about solo, which I want to try a lot more of this year. Just being able to sort of spend that time with myself, breaking it down. We talked about this, people, what are you doing when I go with my partner and we go off somewhere? We've got full days of, right, well, we go in here and we go in there and,
mm,
and then we come back on a night. And I think actually I just quite like just being in the field that we're in,
yeah,
using the stuff that we're using, and actually, just spending a bit of time hanging around camp can
yeah.
be, just brilliant.
It's I mean, I like that whether we're in a group or whether I'm solo camping. It is quite nice to have a day or a bit of time where you're actually just enjoying being in camp and what camp is, and whether that's camp life because there's a bunch of people, you're with a group of people, or whether it's just being around your own stuff and you're solo camping. It's really nice just kind of chilling.
Mm,
Again, got when you got to think about when you're camping with a group, what's the group dynamic, what's the group going for,
yeah,
and I think it's really important to have sort of like-minded people in a group who are kind of all on the same page and are going camping for the same reason. So whether it is a catch up with mates, sit around a fire, have a few drinks, eat some really good food, not really do anything else, or whether it's this is a base camp, and we're then going out and we're doing this, and we're going out and doing this, and then we're going out and doing that. Those two groups of people don't always fit well together.
No,
in my experience, I've got friends who like to do both, and I tend to camp with them a bit separately because the dynamic can sometimes be a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I think as well, it's I mean, we talked about it before in other things about how long you're going for. Is it a night? Is it a catch up where you're not going to have an awful lot of stuff as a group? But similarly, if you're going for a night as a solo person, what is that about? Is it you're going off somewhere else? Is it that you want to be out, go camping for the night or whatever? And therefore, those things that you take are completely different, aren't they?
Completely, yeah. You're minimalist, down to the bare bones. If you're just doing a solo night somewhere, you're not taking a lot of stuff, and you're in and out. If you're stealth camping on your own, you're taking as little as you can possibly get away with to get in and get out again. We still haven't done stealth camping, Ed. We need to do that.
Yeah, I keep on looking around. Really, I see them all over the place, and I think, yeah, let's just go and do a little camp there. But yeah, it's one for the future.
Yeah, it is. If you were going on your own, solo, which tent are you going to take of your multiple tents? Because I know you can live your dream, and it could be solo for a number of days. So you could take a big tent if you want. You could take a little tent. It's up to you. If you were going solo, what would you take?
Off the top of my head, the medium one, so the Robins Prospector shanty,
nice,
which is a 3.5 by 3 meter tent. I can put a stove in it, but also, I mean, as much as I like being outside, I also like space and time inside the tent, like you were saying. Sometimes you'll spend more time in your tent with the solo one. And actually, do I want to be in something that I can stand up in, which is what I choose, that I can sit inside, I can open up the doors, but I'm in my little space and I'm making that very nice. Whether that's for a night or two or 3 or 4, that would do all of it.
Yeah.
I could have as many tents. I love each and every one. Some cheap ones, some really expensive ones, some really different ones, some out the box thinking kind of tents. I'd like to just have, that'd be my hobby. Well, it is my hobby, but actually spending money if I didn't have to earn it, just buying all the tents and having a separate house that I could store them all in and go, right, I'm wearing it. I'm using this one today. Because that's the thing. But I think if it was, unless I was sort of through hiking, or moving on, or fast and light kind of thing, then if I was going fast and light, it'd be the Sierra Designs. My yellow tent, tunnel tent, love it.
Nice tent. I think I'd be the same. So even if it's car camping and it's one night or a week, I was solo, I'd take my 3 meter bell tent, so my little baby bell. I can stand up in it just about. I can get my cot in it. I can get my wood burning stove in there, and you're going to laugh at the word cot then.
I think you just need to pronunciate your T's, Tim.
I can get.
I'm sure. I'm sure the listeners will back me up there. He just did. He's taking his what?
He can fit what in a 3 meter?
Oh, white chicken, white cow.
Oh, God. No, it's all the same reasons that you said why you take the Prospector Shanty. Really, it's a similar size tent, and you can stay in it quite comfortably as solo. If I'm through hiking and going fast and light, then I've got a little one-man tent from Decathlon, a little Quisha one that I've had for years and years. That's my lightest tent. But to be honest, last weekend we were camping. I took the Vord Terra Hogan, gave it its first proper outing since I did it up and cleaned it up and got it restrung and everything. Not the lightest tent to take through hiking, but it would be a great tent to do that with. So I'd probably take something like that. And because it's a two-man, for solo through hiking, there's enough space there, which is quite nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Get your bag and stuff in there as well. So I'd probably do that. I suppose my question to you, if you're going in a group, are you letting someone else share your tent, or are you going as a group where everyone's got to bring their own tent and have their own space?
Yeah. So I would let people share my tent. I've offered it out to yourself and various people. If it means them not coming, yeah, okay. Let me rephrase that. If they weren't going to turn up, or because they were making some decisions on, I don't have a tent or I don't have anything I want to camp in, if I wanted that person there, be like, yeah, come and share mine then. You can turn up late and you can go early if you need to, but then they've come for the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely. But it's interesting, and maybe it's just my age now, Tim, that it'd be roughly similarly the same sort of thing. It'd be that medium size, kind of fits all. It's big enough to be comfortable for me. But in a group, what I've noticed is you spend ever so much less time in the bigger tent because you spend more time outside.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in a group, you tend to be sat around a fire or sat around a table cooking. You're doing those social interactions, and you're much less time in the tent. What was nice was with our recent camping trip was I did take the Terra Hogan, as I said. It's a little tent. We were in a group, and it was just a little tent. And I slept in that tent and got out of it again. And it's we spent the rest of the time either around the table cooking food, making pizza dough and things, or sitting around the fire cooking food and chatting and drinking. So yeah,
and catching up. That's what it's there for, and I think that's kind of what this episode is about, isn't it? It's making those assumptions about the fact that actually the weather's going to be okay. The groups that I'm in, actually, I'm going to be spending more time out of my tent. The tent is somewhere just to sleep.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then, fast and light. Now, if you're going for longer, switch it up again. But,
Yeah. And it was really nice, actually, just packing away a little tent and a tarp. I have to say it made the packing up, from being with a group, made the packing up so much easier than taking the larger tents, the bell tents and things like that, which is great. You've got all that space, but you're absolutely right. We camped with the same guys last year, and I took one of my bell tents, and again I only slept in it, and then got out again in the morning. Yeah. But it was a lot of, we were on the same site as well, and it was a lot of equipment and a lot of moving back and forth to the car. And I did think afterwards, I brought way too much stuff for this. And it does make you think about what you're putting in the car when you're going camping somewhere, of who you're camping with, what's the purpose of why you're camping, are you on your own and you need to take some toys and you want to get your toys out and play with your stuff, or actually are you in a group, in which case there's entertainment there because we've got funny friends, they're a good laugh. And actually, you really don't need to take as much. I think the rest of this season, I'm going to try and teach myself that lesson, really, of you take too much stuff, Tim, and you don't really need to take that much. We're camping again this weekend with a different group of friends, and and I'm trying out hammock camping for the first time. So I'm going to stick a hammock up in the trees and a tarp over the top, and I'm going to go super fast tonight.
Well, while we've been recording this, it's getting me to think again about I was going to use the swag for 2 nights and stuff. And then I'm thinking, well, you know what? Actually, it's a lovely setup, nothing against the swag, but actually, it's a 2 night camp. Maybe just a bit of extra space might be what's called for.
Yeah, you're doing 2 nights. I'm just doing the one. It's
Yeah.
although to be honest, if I was managing to get there for both nights, I think I'd still take the
The
hammock.
hammock.
I
Yeah.
might throw in the car another emergency tent just in case the hammock's like massively uncomfortable the first night. But as I'm only doing one night, I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit and see what it's
Brisket.
like.
Brisket Tim. There's a new name. Brisket.
Makes me sound like a cowboy.
uh,
Oh, did you see that meat that Laird was cooking on the group? So we've got
Laird.
for those who aren't in our Facebook group, go and find Casual Camping Podcast Facebook group, and the chat that's within that, because there was some meat cooking by Laird, and it was just he kept posting pictures like an hour later. It's now at this, and it's now doing this, and then he was chopping it up, and literally I was just
Yeah.
salivating,
While you're saying it, I'm
salivating.
like, oh,
God.
just, yeah, brilliant. And though that's what that group is there for, inspiring each other, showing each other what we're doing. If you bought some new gear, if you're going somewhere, I know Bella has been on a road trip up to Scotland, and
Yeah,
I
great road
love
trip.
that journey. And
Yeah.
thanks for involving us because, share some pictures and you kind of go, right, I'm either going to do that soon or,
If
just
if
brilliant.
if one of us is camping, we're all camping. That's the thing. If you're sharing the images and sharing your adventures, there's some guys out in Australia who keep sharing stuff, and it's just epic that there's people that listen to us all over the planet who we've all got the shared experience really, and the shared desire to just get out camping and just chill out and just relax and touch base, and whether it's on your own or whether it's with a group of mates.
Yeah.
It's all great, isn't it? It's just all great.
It's all great. And I hope that this episode has got people thinking about what they're taking, what their experience might be with who they're going with, how long they're going for, and make some good decisions. It certainly helped me and thee
It
think
has
about that in a
actually.
different way.
It has actually. I've got a social shout out, and then we'll.
God hope you
I know.
don't.
I do. This is from Dave Kim. I don't know which is his first name or which is his last name, but Dave Kim. Um, he joined our Facebook group, and what does he like most about the Casual Camping Podcast? He likes how it's not just about the gear, but it's also just about the gear.
He's got it in one.
Got it in one. Got it in one. Let's jump to a minute mindfulness and see if we can get you guys and girls thinking about getting out in the field.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Well, it's inspiring me. I'm going this weekend. Oh, I think I was probably doing that anyway, but hopefully it's going to make you lot think as well. you know what? Let's just throw the stuff in the car. Let's just go camping.
Well, I think when this is released, and if you're listening to it on Friday, I'm either packing my car or driving to a field somewhere. Well, woodlands.
I will be at work until 6 o'clock in the evening, and then we'll have to go home. But I'm planning on getting up crack of dawn the following morning and joining you. And hopefully you haven't gone too big on the first night, and
Go
hopefully
too large on the first night. Ooh, there's no promises, Tim. There's no promises.
Are you solo camping the first night, or are you group camping the first night? Like, I don't know, but
Group. Well, I think it's a group weekend.
Yeah.
There are 2 of us on the first night. There'll be 4 of us, including your good self, for the second night. So, almost mixing it up. Let's make sure that whoever I'm camping with, we don't fall out on the first night.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
And Richard, I will see you there.
All right, everybody. You get yourselves camping this weekend, whether it's sunny or drizzly, doesn't matter. Just get out in the field wherever you are in the world. I've been Tim.
I've been Ade.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.